Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur, and we're talking about Amazon today. And here's the thing. I've been trying to be fair to Amazon as much as possible. Most people who know me definitely know I do not like this company. I don't like them at all. I think they're evil for the most part. I don't see a lot of redeeming qualities, but I was giving them a little bit of credit for how they were handling the current pandemic that's going on. They were doing things that were mostly right as far as I was concerned. They were trying to keep the spacing, distances between employees. They were going to be trying to offer masks and stuff when they could. They were letting employees stay home with pay. I was thinking this is all well and good, but then the Staten Island strike happened, and Amazon fired the person who organized the strike, which now they're under investigation for. Then they just started doing more and more crazy things, and you know what? I think we need to discuss that Amazon really doesn't have this under control, and in fact, I think my praise of them has effectively come to an end. So we have several articles to look at today. One of them is this one from the New York Times. Gap seen in Amazon's response as virus spreads to more than 500 warehouses. In this article, it says, as millions of Americans heed government orders to hunker down ordering food and medicines and books and puzzle boards for home delivery, many of Amazon's 400,000 warehouse workers have stayed on the job, fulfilling the crushing demands of a country suddenly working and learning from home. Orders for Amazon groceries, for example, have seen as much as 50 times higher than normal, according to a person with direct knowledge of the business. That doesn't surprise me at all. The challenge is keeping enough people on the job to fill those orders, according to more than 30 Amazon warehouse workers and current and former corporate employees who spoke with the New York Times. Many requested anonymity because they were not authorized to speak publicly and feared losing their jobs. For all of its high-tech sophistication, Amazon's vast e-commerce business is dependent on an army of workers operating in warehouses they now fear are contaminated with the virus. None of this works without employees, said Jay Carney, the company's senior vice president of corporate affairs. And that right there is what's going to set off all this other stuff. Because Amazon, you know, here's the thing. They definitely operated the best that they could, all things considered. And here's the thing. Amazon is an essential business, especially since now we have to have things delivered and stuff like that. Amazon is actually ideal for a lot of people. But Amazon came off starting like, hey, we're doing this right. And then more and more, they just seem to be a big screw up. Here's another article. And by the way, the next three articles are all from Business Insider, who seems to be having some technical issues today, hence why none of the images are working. I'm sorry. But there was a leaked memo. Amazon is now recommending the workers sorting and moving your online orders wear face masks, but they only have a limited quantity. So, here's the thing. The employees on Amazon's operations side received a text message Sunday evening saying they were recommended to wear a mask to work. Amazon, however, said that it would only have limited quantities of masks available to employees and that they would have to ask a manager for the mask. Which, here's the funny thing. Here's the funny thing about the masks, folks, just to let you know. The mask doesn't, from what I understand, prevent you from getting the virus. It doesn't. What it does help prevent is if you have the virus, it prevents you from passing it on to someone else. That is the virus. So here's the thing. Let's say you want to get a mask from your Amazon manager. And, you need to go to him and you have to ask him for a mask, which is standard protocol, by the way. You have the virus, you talk to him, you touch him, he's got the virus now. And now he's passing along to every person who grabs the mask. That seems like a flawed system. Anyway, the message said, emphasis ours, your health and safety is most important. We recommend everyone wears a face mask of some kind covering their nose and mouth from arrival through departure of your shift. We will have face masks in limited quantities for anyone entering the building to wear as a recommended preventive measure, and if you prefer, you may bring your own mask, including fabric masks. We have teams working nonstop to continue sourcing supplies, including masks, and are working hard to stay in stock with masks during the event. If you would like a mask, please ask a manager or designated handout POC at the start of your shift. The mask should be used by one person for the shift and not be shared. You must also know how to use it and dispose of it safely, which is funny because, here's the thing. Because you're talking to adults, we know how to dispose of a mask. Basically, it's not hard, folks. You wear the mask at the beginning of your shift. You keep it on. You don't You don't take it off to scratch your nose or anything like that. You leave it on. And then at the end of the day, you take it off and you throw it away at a designated trash can. So that's how you dispose of masks safely. Heck, they might even have a furnace you could just toss it in, burn the virus if it's on there. But, details will be posted around the site. So Amazon's trying. But now they have to take more drastic steps because here's the thing. Because more and more cases are winding up in these warehouses, and I expect almost all the warehouses to have these cases, if you will. But Amazon is now turning away employees with temperatures over 100.4 degrees. Now, I don't disagree with this. This makes sense. It's the second part of this that highlights just how little these companies are understanding that they are contributing to a problem, not a solution, because they're going to be slashing up to half their pay. So how does this work? So here's the thing. If an individual is running a fever at or above 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit, 38 degrees Celsius, they will be asked to go home. Do not disagree with this at all, by the way. According to the new policy, the employees will be asked to remain home until they have been fever-free for at least 72 hours without the use of fever-reducing medication. Now, they should just be sent home with 2 weeks sick pay. My opinion. They should just be sent home with 2 weeks of sick pay, but of course that's going to be a lot of people, and Amazon doesn't want to pay that. In fact, they want to reduce that so much that they actually added something that is going to make this hard for people who work there. Because despite being turned away from work, Amazon will only pay the employees that they have to send home up to 5 hours of their missed shift. 5 hours. So they have an 8 to 12 hour shift. They get sent home. They get paid 5 hours. And here's the thing. They're requesting that they stay home until they're free for at least 72 hours fever free. My question is, okay, what about those days that they have to stay home right from the get-go? Are they getting 5 hours per day on that too, or are they not? That's what I'd like to be clarified. Here's the thing. Amazon has confirmed this policy, but they've declined to comment. What is it about this situation that these companies are not getting? At least the companies that have money to pay sick leave. Why don't they understand that the issue is that people are coming to work sick because they need money? They need to pay their bills. Their bills have not stopped. And so when they come in sick, you send them home, and it is the right thing to do, but then you're going to pay them, give them a 50% pay reduction. As it states here, for one Amazon worker who works 10-hour shifts at a warehouse in Phoenix, Arizona, the new policy means a 50% pay cut. If I had to stay home for 3 days, as told by corporate, then I'd be losing at 50% pay. I'd be losing out on $255. Doesn't seem like much, but some of us live from paycheck to paycheck, which that's never a good thing. Thankfully, I have not needed to live paycheck to paycheck for a very long time. I would hate to not even realize, so I have a fever and then get to work and then returned away. It's not like Amazonians make the most money, so it's a tough spot to be in. As for the policy itself, I think taking temperatures is just a little too late in the process when it comes to symptoms. I agree, but hey, it's something. But here's the scary thing, and this is why they need to send people home, because I'm going to give Amazon their due here. Because it's spreading. Like, one Amazon worker believes that he may have infected 1,000 people in the last 3 days. And this is why they're afraid to go to work. But here's the problem. You can't be fixing the problem and saying, but by the way, you're going to get half your pay. That's not how this should work. Amazon is $1 trillion company. If any company should be allowed to just pay their employees full extra sick pay for a couple weeks, stay home, do the right thing, period, it's Amazon. But they don't want to do that because it's all about money to them. Amazon is one of the only companies that are growing during this pandemic. They are not suffering to the extent that other businesses are. Jeff Bezos has actually gotten more rich since the pandemic started, which is a terrifying thought that he's the only billionaire who didn't lose any of his wealth in all of this. Amazon isn't suffering. They are gaining more business. They are gaining more control. And the least they can do when they send their employees home sick is pay them for a full 2-week sick time to quarantine, to help the cease the spread of the virus. Not that it helps much if the virus already entered the building. And if the virus enters a warehouse, they need to shut that warehouse down for a couple weeks, disinfect it, reopen it when they can. Amazon talked a big game that they were going to do this to save people. They're going to do this to help the economy. They were going to do this to be responsible, and they have become more and more irresponsible by the day. Firing workers who air grievances about health and safety is not a good look. Sending people home and slashing their pay is not a good look when you want to encourage people to stay home so that they do not spread the virus. And now when you suspect they're sick, you're going to send them home with half the pay. Guess what? That's going to encourage them to lie and come back into work before they're ready, and they might spread the virus. You are handing out masks through one person, where if that person gets sick, he is going to infect everyone. I don't know. What can Amazon do with this point? I mean, I don't want it. I'm starting to think outside of a total nationwide shutdown for 2 weeks, there's really not much you can do at this point. I don't want it to get to that point, though. We need some of the economy running, and we need to start bringing businesses back soon. We need to start bringing people back to work. It's just not safe to do so hence we have to do this. But Amazon, I started out being impressed with their response to this. I thought they were doing a good thing. Apparently that's not the case anymore. I think they are doing a very poor job now. It's really scary what's going on. But anyway, hey, that's where we're going to leave this video. If any of you are Amazon workers, what do you think about this? Do you agree with any of these assessments? Do you disagree? What's it like to work there? I would love to know. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.